And today in San Francisco, former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright sent a clear message about the war. As Simon Perez tells us, she said sending troops to Iraq was a fatal mistake. Simon.
Dana, Albright is in San Francisco for the World Forum Conference on Violence, and she says violence, or better said, the use of force, is justified under certain circumstances, but she doesn't think force should have been used in Iraq. Even though the current Iraq war has removed Saddam Hussein from power, former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright says the war wasn't necessary, despite the failure of United Nations weapons inspectors.
When they left in '98, they had not yet accounted for all the weapons of mass destruction. So by deduction, I thought, others thought, that he continued to have some. But we never thought that he was an imminent threat to the region, nor did we think that he had a link with al-Qaeda, nor did we actually thought that we had him in a strategic box.
Albright contends that strategic box, which included military strikes against Iraq, was enough to eliminate Saddam as a threat.
The decision to take our troops into action and this whole war may go down in history as the worst decision, most disastrous in American foreign policy.
So, what to do next? Albright insists talking really can work. How do you sit down with an adversary and get somewhere?
Well, first of all, if you have an adversary and you never talk to that adversary, you can be sure you'll never get anywhere. I think it is very possible, and I have had a number of pretty tough conversations where you look somebody eye to eye, as I'm looking at you, and basically deliver pretty tough messages. But you can't do that if you're never talking to them.
In the end, Albright criticizes the Bush administration for acting on what she says is a false premise.
We promote and support democracy throughout the world, not impose democracy. Imposing democracy is an oxymoron. So the concept that one could somehow have an American or even Western-style democracy immediately in Iraq, I think, was a false hope.
Albright says her philosophy does not mean support for the anti-American regimes in the Middle East. She believes diplomacy is the best hope for containing them. In the newsroom, I'm Simon Perez for CBS 5.